tonight is Chuck Kirkpatrick. He's been working hard and studying global service for over 20 years. Chuck graduated with degrees from Taylor University and Indiana University. His research focuses on politics, economics, customer impacts of global technology and communication services. With a background in strategic management, practical experience delivering technology services, Chuck leads conversations about service as a software consultant. Please help me welcome Chuck to the Spark stage.
It's so hard not to let it show, but you got me feeling like I'm stepping on buildings, cars and boats. I swear I could touch the sky.
Absolutely. All right. Thank you. I appreciate being here to have a chance to talk to Indiana Hoosiers. I think this is a state where we take service very seriously. Henry Ford once said, "A business absolutely devoted to service will have only one worry about profits. They will be embarrassingly large." In a 21st century services economy, though, what does it mean to be absolutely devoted to service? For your people, for your team, what do you think about when you say service? Now, here's a recent experience I had in a service. I received word from my bank that the credit card number had been stolen. The bank was offering us a service by canceling our card and replacing it. Thinking nothing further of it, a few weeks later, I'm ready to get on the internet, and I found out there was no service. Instead, I was redirected to my internet provider's customer service site, in quotation marks. I fill out their service form, put in the new credit card number, and that's when I got the message. Your service will be restored in 1 to 2 weeks' time. Do not call customer service. There is no one who can assist you with this matter. Do not request that your service be restored more quickly. There is no service rep who can assist you and help to resolve it. You have been charged $50 for this service. What service? What I had to think about in that moment was how mad I was, how upset I was, and that when we think about service, sometimes we all have excuses for why we may not serve. Transactions ultimately aren't service. And if we think that the transactions we're offering someone are giving customers a service, we're going to miss out. Now, what about service providers? We have a lot of different people who are called on in different business capacities to serve others. And where are they fitting in the picture these days? In the media industry where I work, there is a lot more competition. There is a lot of declining revenue, changes in subscription services, and advertising models are going out the window. Everything's changing pretty dramatically. So what happens for traditional corporations in that situation is that they think about consolidating and they think about layoffs. Let me tell you, if you're in a media company and it has just laid off 400 people of the 700 employees in the last couple of years, you're not going to have much of a conversation about how do we serve other people. Most of those folks are scared and they're trying to figure out how do I keep my job, keep my family fed. They're not thinking customer service, and they're certainly not thinking about innovations in service and being competitive with service. So with that in mind, the question and the challenge is, how do we compete on service? What I think we need to do is to start new conversations about building capacity for service. That might mean reconnecting internal networks people to people after lots of layoffs. That might mean re-energizing the core messages about service. It might also mean that we talk about what we really mean by service. Specifically, are we serving in a way that we're really excited about? When you think about service, you've got to bring it back to the highest ideals. For example, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. In any kind of situation where we know what great service is and we are kept from providing it, we've got to find a way back to that right picture of what we think service should be. And I think there are 5 dimensions you'll need to think about. When you think about service, there's always going to be some kind of a spiritual dimension. There are individuals and individuality to think about. There's community service that people talk about a lot and hopefully engage staff members in. There should also be some kind of service with respect to families and the fact that we're not just robots in a business place, we have families, and we have people that we care about. And then ultimately, there's also the business team. How do we serve those people that we ask to serve? Well, I can't tell you in this short amount of time how your team should serve, but I can tell you 5 ways to make your service more competitive and to really make it your competitive advantage as a business. First, you've got to model great service. For everybody in the company, you need to find a way to be passionate about service. Second, you need to think about engaging capacity building and training. How do you teach it? How do you live it? Third, why not invite service leaders from all walks of life to come talk about service? We could learn from pastors or police officers, doctors, or other kinds of people completely outside of your arena of service. Fourth, reward multidimensional service. When you're talking about hiring and promotion, when you're talking about quarterly awards, think about a whole portfolio of different aspects of service. And most importantly, bring that service conversation out from the clouds. It's not way out there. It should be in our hearts. It should be in our minds. It should be in our actions with one another. Ultimately, we need to get to a place with our thoughts about service that we can get passionate and we can get excited. If we could take a lesson from a singer that I love, Afrojack, we need to get to a place where we can start to say, I'm clumsy, my head's a mess, 'cause you got me growing taller every day. We're giants in a little man's world. You got my heart pumping so big that it could burst. Change your heart for service and change how you serve. Your team will never want to look back. Thank you.